The first year of the Better Together Community Development Corporation and the Better Together All in Vision is complete, and it's just been so amazing to see how our cities, our nonprofits, our community-based organizations, and our community and economic development organizations have leaned in to the All in Vision.
The biggest highlight was just leveraging all the relationships and the energy that was created through Project Better Together, and then parlaying that into a longer-term vision for a shared future. Taking advantage of all those relationships and all that goodwill that was happening through Project Better Together in those tough times, and then as I said, parlaying it into a long-term plan was really exciting, and it was coming together pretty quickly. It's been just a great partnership and brought our community closer together than most around the country.
So 2023 was spent continuing to roll out that vision to our Rotaries, our civic groups, and as we did that work, it became clear that our organization needed to staff up, start fundraising, and build the capacity to take this to the next level. As the work of Better Together 2030 continued to grow, we wanted to ensure that the increasing work of that growing Community Development Corporation and the All in Vision didn't result in the need of the creation of an additional organization with community operational support. So we aligned with Greater Iowa City, Inc. to ensure that staffing was streamlined, support through Think Iowa City continued, and all of our great partners for Better Together continue to support the mission of Better Together without the need for an additional organization in our community.
Better Together 2030 and the visioning process that we all went through, walking through that exercise was really important to understand how much need we saw that was out there in the county, how much progress had been made in the past, and how with some better organization we could really work together in more impactful ways. So understanding that everyone was on board to do this work and that the community at large, through a lot of outreach, really made those decisions to marry up the pillars and understand that there's lots of things that need to be done across the county, and that there was such support for that and consensus around it, made me feel like that's a really great place to start, and that if we all work together, we can really reach it.
Think Iowa City continues to lead Pillar 1 work through its staff time and efforts, including supporting North Liberty's next stage with the Community Foundation of Johnson County, and the cities continue to implement those projects they can budget for that were identified in the Pedal Paddle grant, and new opportunities are identified for granting sources to fulfill those projects. Pillar 2 is an incredibly complex pillar that includes housing, childcare, and neighborhoods. And while the neighborhood work continues to develop through the Greater Iowa City Strategic Investment District's opportunities, we've seen progress, tremendous progress, in childcare as well as housing. So a key highlight of Pillar 2 is the Child Care Wage Enhancement Program. So the City of Iowa City and Johnson County have each contributed $750,000 to this program, amounting to over $1.5 million. But our private sector and employers in the community have stepped up to the challenge, and we've raised over almost $150,000 to contribute, and we're just getting started. With lead gifts from the University of Iowa, Green State Credit Union, and support from other employers locally like Hills Bank, Hayek Moreland Smith & Burgess, and ProCircular, we've been able to really drive home the importance of childcare as a workforce issue. One of the biggest challenges that we have as a community is affordable housing. And when we set out in the All in Vision, we agreed to do things differently. And one of those things was having a growth mindset. And so in the last year, we've really worked hard to experiment with new technology to improve housing affordability. And over the next couple of years, our team will continue to find new ways to expand housing access for those who need it most and drive down the cost. Transit has been super important over the last year, and we've really seen some great movement in those ideals around a well-connected mobile region. First, Better Together supported the development of the Trip Connect grant program. The Trip Connect program, launching out of Johnson County, will connect employers and employees through another transit workforce solution. Our community and economic development partners at Think Iowa City, the Downtown District, South of 6, and Greater Iowa City, Inc. are going to continue to ensure the principles of inclusive economic development are included throughout their programming. But in order to make this successful, we need additional support in ensuring this continues across all of our jurisdictions. So Pillar 5 is probably where I'm most proud to report our progress over the last year. We've had incredible success in building collaboration across nonprofit organizations, and they've really leaned in to doing things as human and social service partners through collective impact and other community participatory models. Over the last year, Better Together has led the development of the Family Resource Center, a project led by 4 anchor partners in our community and human and social services. With that, we've been able to raise over $2.7 million from the state of Iowa and Johnson County towards this Family Resource Center, and we're also just getting started.
I just think the continued expansion and development that's happening in our community, I tell people quite frequently that I'm super proud to call this community my home and to be surrounded by folks that value critical discourse, that have a strong work ethic, that really work hard to interact and collaborate and community build. And that's going to continue to happen. It's going to happen with, obviously Katie Gerlach's leadership and Better Together 2030 and everything that's happening there. And we're going to continue to make steps, some of them smaller than others, but they're all going in the right direction as we look to continue on in this particular decade.
A lot of it is about pride in community, why we live here, how we support one another, developing a strong culture. And I think in this area, we have got so much of that already built. We need to communicate it and share it and make sure that we're working together so that we can really make that impact and make sure that we're a welcoming community for whoever wants to be here.
But because of the incredible trust and community support for Better Together 2030 in our first year, we have laid the groundwork for incredible success towards a shared future for Johnson County.